today's video, I'm going to be giving you an introduction to teaching dance in a primary school PE setting. Dance is not for everybody, and lots of people feel uncomfortable teaching dance. They've never done it before, or they have done it and they still don't feel comfortable. Well, in this video, I'm going to help settle some of those nerves and give you a quick introduction into what you should be thinking about when you're teaching your dance PE lessons. And so the first thing I would say about dance when you're teaching it is it can be daunting. But when you actually break it down, you understand it in a little bit more detail, it will actually become one of the easier topics to teach because it's so child-led. And for me, dance could be a Michael Jackson dance to the Thriller at the front of the class and all the kids following it. And that's maybe what some people's vision of what a dance PE lesson should be like. However, we as PE teachers and primary school educators are not expected to be at the front of the class and know how to choreograph a PE lesson, a whole dance routine. Okay, if a school brings in a dance specialist, and that might be what happens, but even then, that dance specialist should be trying to bring in child-led activities. And what do I mean by child-led activities? Well, what I mean by that is when I think about a session, and if I think about a sports session, I will split my session into a third of a warm-up, a third a main session, and a third of matches. Now, when you change that into dance, it's you can see how it works. So the first third is a warm-up. Okay, so you're going to do a warm-up, and that can be related to other warm-ups that you already know and trying to put a dance twist on it, and we'll talk about that in more detail. Then I'm talking about the main session or the main topic, and then instead of matches for the final third, I'm then going into routines. And if I break this down to a year 1 and 2 PE lesson, and we go from there. So for a year 1 and 2 PE lesson, my warm-up, my main session and routines needs to have a topic to it. Now, ideally, you'll have PE lesson plans and you'll have an idea of what it's meant to look like, but there's a few key things that you have to know. Now, the first thing is the beats of 8. Now, 8 is the magic number in dance, and we should always be teaching our children that. Now, when we are new to dance, we need to be thinking about the beats of 8, but even as it develops and becomes more advanced, we can still talk about the beats of 8, and we can weave that into our warm-up, our main sessions, and our routines. So what do I mean by that? Our warm-up in a football lesson could be very technical, ball each, dribbling around. Well, in a warm-up for dance, we could be really talking about beats of 8. It could also be talking about mirroring or support, or thinking about how we're using different parts of our body, or there's so many different ways we could do it. But let's say our warm-up is beats of 8. So how can my warm-up look? It could be that the whole class is clapping in beats of 8. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can we bring everybody into that? So everyone's clapping at the same time. 1, 2, 3. All right. And then can you introduce clap, stomp, clap, stomp? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am not here at the front of the class choreographing a whole routine. I am just thinking about a simple warm-up, bringing in the beats of 8 so that children start to understand 8. Now, when I go into my main session, I could have, and I probably will have certain topics within that, but I want you to think about, so it doesn't overwhelm you, what is your theme going to be? Now, when it comes to dance, themes can be a really useful tool for you. And when I talk about a theme, that could be getting ready to go to school. It could be jungles. It could be a desert or Antarctica, or it might be animals. Thinking about a theme will help you in your main session, because once we've got the beat of 8, we can then start talking about, right, we're going to have our theme today of going to school. Now, the first 8 beats could be that you're going to count them 1, 2, 3, 4, and in those first 8 beats, they need to get out of bed as part of their dance. So when I'm going 1, 2, it's like 1 is open up their eyes, 2 is arms up, 3 is a stretch, 4 is out of bed, 5 is brushing my teeth, 6 is red, and by 8 they're then out of bed, and the next bit could be the next 8 beats are going downstairs to have my breakfast. So it's 1 down the stairs, 2 down the stairs, and this can come from the child. So by you leading and having a clear structure into how you're teaching it, it will give you a little bit more of an idea of how that session looks. So by that point, you've done a warm-up, you then started talking about your main session, and we've got a theme, getting out of bed, but could we introduce mirroring, for example? We're working in pairs and we're both getting out of bed at the same time, doing the same routine, but we're mirroring each other. In doing so, I'm teaching children about mirroring, but it all comes in from themes and the topic that you've got for that day. Once you've introduced that mirroring, you can then go into your routines and say, right, so the next 15-20 minutes, we're going to have time to practice routines. You're going to be showing me your routines, and then I'm going to choose 3 of my favourite routines to be delivered to the class. So here, when we go into our routines, like very simple, I'm going to give them a task, I'm going to play some music, and I'm going to say to them, depending on the age group and the difficulty, right, we are going to have 4 sets, 8 beats in each set. So the first one is you getting out of bed, the second one is you going downstairs and having your breakfast, third one is walking to school, the fourth one is you starting your lesson. They now know what they've got to do, and adding on to that, you could then introduce, right, and I expect in each set there needs to be at least 1 mirror move, or whatever it is. Now this is just a brief example, but I'm trying to give you that confidence where if you've never delivered dance before, trying to settle the nerves. So warm up, thinking about something simple, easy. So it could be pretending to be different animals. It could be listening to the music and dancing to the music, and you could play different music. Whatever it is, the main session, thinking about what you actually teaching today. For example, the mirroring, or it might be just thinking about the theme and how you're going to bring that to life for the children. So they're not just doing physical activity and just dancing for an hour. They're actually doing physical education and they're learning within that hour as well. And then you just move into routines, very child-led. You'll be walking around the area, you'll be thinking about good ideas. And for me, when I do routines, I'm constantly watching. I wouldn't have them in more than groups of 3, because once you go groups of 3, it's too much talking, not enough actual practice. And then I'm going to choose 3 groups I think have done really well. Everybody's going to watch those 3 groups. We're going to give feedback. For me, I always just say, give us 3 positive bits of feedback that relate to this. Can the children recount anything that they've learnt from the main session? Maybe a little cool down and you're done. It's not as daunting as you think when it comes to dance. Now, that is a very introduction level dance topic, but we have got a dance course that's coming out, delivered by uSports, one of our dance professionals who does such fantastic dance PE lessons. So that link is below. If you haven't already, that might be out already. It might be coming out it might be out by the time you watch this video. It's coming out in the future. But make sure you follow us so you know what's going on. But we've also got another one that's already live for gymnastics, and we've got one for coaching nurseries as well that's going to be going live as well. So hopefully you can start seeing us as bringing lots of valuable content to you. But also just check out loads of our free stuff on YouTube. YouTube is fantastic for us to just keep pumping out new ideas for you. If you're a sports educator working in the UK, working in primary schools, then these videos are going to be fantastic for you to be able to really build your confidence and start delivering better PE lessons that not only the children enjoy, they are safe in, but they're actually learning in as well, and that's the main bit. So if you have enjoyed today's video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.